Right.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This meeting is going to be short on the presentation kind of stuff and a little more time to talk about some stuff as we need. So, we're going to go through basic stuff, give you some updates, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about the assembly, and the projects that we talked about last time, and go from there. So here's our minutes. Those were posted on Facebook and on our website, so hopefully everyone's had a chance to see those. I'm not going to let everybody read through them right here and now, but did anybody have any questions or comments about those?
Nope.
Not any motion to approve?
A motion to
Okay.
approve the minutes.
Anyone against?
Nope.
Not seeing any? All right, they're approved. All right, treasurer's report. Melissa, you want to give us a
Sure.
quick
Our
rundown?
starting balance was $14,255.45. Our ending balance was about $1,000 less at $13,252.83. Source of income this month, we had $19.42 from Amazon Smile. So we get about $20 every few months from them. So it's a really helpful, easy way that people can support the boosters. Some other information in terms of what our grants were. We had $156 in grants plus $200, which was for the third grade field trips, and then $1,000 for fifth grade to use either on field trips or their fifth grade picnic. And then there is some information on pastries with parents. Tickets, we brought in $807. Our expenses were just over $500, so we ended up with a surplus of just over $300 from that event.
Great. Excellent. I think I left the holiday shop and sloppy copy and paste on my end here. That being said, I also have a check here for $30 from Network for Good. I can't remember exactly what that's for. I know it's familiar. That might be like if somebody did like a Facebook charity
Yeah.
thing for us and then
I
donated
think,
money.
didn't Kate Ripper do that and got a donation, I think?
It's possible that's what it could be from. And this also, I'm not sure if it's, no, it wouldn't be the GoFundMe yet.
And we got a weird like $9 PayPal.
That I think
donation
is
too.
the GoFundMe that I started for Penny Strong.
Oh.
So that, and then I also just happened to notice we got a statement from the bank saying they've credited our account $20 because I guess one of our transactions
I called,
was
they had no idea. So
off by
I'm glad
$20.
that maybe that will say
So
something.
that's probably what it is. So that's that. So thank you, Melissa. That's great. So district policy. You know, we talked about this last time a little bit. There was a committee that met on the
13th
or
or
something
something.
like that. Since then, I've noticed after that committee meeting, they've made some changes to proposed policy that they're gonna bring up at the next board meeting. It's really nothing substantial whatsoever. And actually would make me think that they might redo the memo that they sent out since they don't align, because this still says that we should have somebody appointed, they will encourage staff members, things like that. So the changes on here are really just, you know, whatever. I'm not gonna act on any of it until the new superintendent comes in. So we're probably the way we are the rest of this year, and then we'll see how it goes forward. But maybe that's a good thing, so. So that's that. 1 minute update. So we did music concert raffles. Thanks to Andy Lucas and Lisa Bednar, who were our volunteers for the third grade concert. That raised $227, which was fantastic. And thanks to Perry Peterson for donating the funds back so that we could get $227. So that's pretty awesome. We've got another concert coming up here next week. For the second grade concert. I think, Christina, were you one of the volunteers for that? So I'm gonna give you the buckets and tickets and such there. If not, what I'll do is I'll leave them by the mailbox for you. If anybody ever asks, I leave the license,
Our license raffle, yeah.
the raffle license in our mailbox,
Yeah.
just
Okay.
so that it's always there. So we've got 2 more opportunities for that. We've got the second grade one, we've got the first grade one. And if I remember correctly, I think we have volunteers for both of them
Yeah, yes.
at
Yes.
that point. So
Mhm.
we're pretty good on doing that. So thank you everybody for doing that. It is a pretty easy way to do it, and a pretty nice little bit of a paycheck for us there as well. Scoopy night. Scoopy night is next Tuesday, March 10th, Mario Day. So from 5 to 8 p.m. we've got pretty much, I think, every slot filled except for one, which is no big deal. I'll fill in for that one and we'll have that one covered. But you can see here, thanks to Amy Turner, Amber Scher, Angelina, Joanna, Natalie, Andrea, Carrie, Michelle, Kathy, and Monica for volunteering. We will be purchasing dinner for everybody that volunteered, all the teachers that volunteered there. So when you get there, make sure you check in with me. I'll have gift card that I can give each one of you guys. You can spend it however you want. If you want to take that gift card home and give it to your kids for a treat, I really don't care. But that's going to be out there as well. Also, when we do the Scoopy night, there's a $40 gift card that we committed to for Battle of the Books as a prize. I'm going to buy it at Scoopy night as well, so we get a little change back. So since I don't need it till May, I figured let's just try that and see how that works out.
Yeah, gift cards count towards
That's what
our.
I'm going to do. I'm going to buy the gift cards for the teachers at Scoopy night.
Yep.
So,
Yeah,
and then if we do that,
baskets.
Yeah.
and then if we do
Yep.
that, then we spend it that night, it's like double. You
Yep.
know? So we're going to work the system here a little bit on that, but that's kind of what we've got going on with Scoopy night. So we hope to see lots of you out there, and let's try to shut them down again.
Oh my gosh, let's not.
So, I plan on calling again tomorrow and saying, hey, just a reminder.
Petty's coming.
We're coming, you remember what happened last time, let's try to be prepared.
Yeah.
So hopefully it'll go a little smoother. Action Territory Night's coming up. That's Friday, April 10th, so a whole month later. We've got flyers for that, but I'm not going to send them home just yet. We'll probably wait till right after spring break to send them home so it doesn't get lost in the shuffle. There are packages out there from as low as $6 a person to as much as $20 a person, depending on what you want to do. We get somewhere between 33 and 37% back, which is a nice chunk of change. There is a deal for food, like you get a family-sized pizza and breadsticks and soda for under 20 bucks if you want to do that. Just bring the flyer with you, and that's how we get credited for it. So please make sure you bring the flyer with you. We also have it posted on our website as well, so if you forget or something like that, I'm sure that if you showed them on your phone, it would be fine.
Make sure we have copies there
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
She said she would have them there.
Oh, she would.
So
Good.
yeah.
So, but yeah, and on the flyer has that coupon for that meal deal out there. So we're hoping it's a nice time. It's a long event. It's 6 hours. You can come, stay for the whole time.
Stay
You can
and
come
go,
at
yeah.
any point in time. If you want to stay for an hour, you want to stay for 2, or if you want to come halfway through or whatever, just come on out. And it's something fun to do over Easter weekend, that long weekend out there as well.
And there is no school that day. Just
Yeah, there is no school that day.
Yep.
So, all right, so that's Action Territory Night. If you have questions, let us know. We'd be more than happy to answer them. Petty Strong, as we just talked about a minute ago, not a ton of updates on this, other than we did create a GoFundMe. Well, the 2 updates. We did provide one more grant for $186 that Melissa touched upon, so that's already done. And we created a GoFundMe account as another option to raise funds for that fund.
yeah. And also the funds that we raised at the last concert we're putting
Yes.
directly into that
Yes,
fund.
exactly.
Yeah.
That was what we talked about, was the funds for for the rating concert.
Yeah.
We talked about for all of those 50-50 funds, we're going to take those funds and put them into the Petty Strong account. So that's out there as well. We do still have shirts and bracelets. If you haven't gotten one, or if you want one, let us know. We have those, but that's kind of fizzling down a little bit. No one's really showing too much interest.
We have to have another Spirit Day again soon.
So-
I keep forgetting.
Yeah, we should probably talk about doing that. Speaking of Spirit Day, and I don't think I have a slide in here for it, we also will have a new Spirit store coming up. I'm working on that. So that'll be coming up right around the beginning of April 1st. I think we're going to start it up, and then it's going to go until like the 2nd or 3rd week of April. So it'll go a little over 2 weeks, and then those orders will be in like the 1st week of May or so. 1st or 2nd week of May, so we should be good. We have a new design on that. We've got a few new options on that, plus a lot of the old stuff. Then you should have a little more flexibility with ordering there. So we'll see how this one goes. So, all right, grant requests. So we've received 2 this month. We had one from Jamie McCann, who asked for $83 for folders. I guess she's running out of folders that she uses in class, And it's another one of those headphones things. I guess a lot of the kids' headphones are coming up broken. She's bought a bunch already, and those are coming back broken, so she's looking for some more to have for her classroom to supplement it. So that is one grant request out there. Any questions, thoughts, or ideas on that? No? Okay. Anyone opposed to that?
Nope.
All right, we'll approve that one. Then we had another one from Erica Bender. And forgive me, I can't exactly remember what her position is here, but I know she's running the extracurricular like sports here, I guess. And I guess maybe she's doing a yoga club. I've never heard of this before, so I really don't know. But she sent out an email asking for funds to help supplement her tuition for a yoga class that would give her certification. Yeah. So I don't know, I guess this class costs $2,000 or something, and she said she could get a $500 scholarship, and she was just asking for any amount of money that we might be willing to contribute towards her certification to do the yoga class. So that's out there. Any thoughts or comments on that? I mean, traditionally, I guess our grants have been more for supplies and materials as compared to
And student-based, I mean,
And students,
as
yeah.
more
yeah,
direct
as
student.
opposed to, you know, certifications and things like that.
Development.
Yeah, I don't know if that's something that the group wants to consider, or we want to pass on that at this point in time. I don't know, but you know, I just thought I would put it in there. And it actually wasn't even an official grant request. It was just an email, and I've received a couple emails from her on this. So, you know, asking if we're interested in doing that. So,
Me personally, I think pass, just because I don't think that it correlates with what our whole, you know, grant,
mhm.
you know, scheme is supposed to be.
I
Maybe
feel-
if it was tied specifically to one of the programs, like they were looking for some materials, yoga mats or something like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
We
They were
might
looking for exact.
be
Yeah,
more
I
willing
mean,
to do that. Okay.
yeah.
I feel like it's related to professional development, and that's something that the school should
That's the words I was
handle.
looking for that I couldn't
Professional
come up with.
development,
Thank you. Thank
which
you.
they do a lot, you know, for, but not a booster thing, I don't
Okay.
think.
All right, so I will follow up with her on that. So those are the only grant requests that we have at this time. All right, Spirit of the Bobcat. That was kind of anticlimactic, but congratulations, Amy Turner. You are our winner this month. A lot of people filled in on this for their volunteering and some of the other activities that they've had. So congratulations, and I swear it wasn't like determined by alphabeticalness, by first name, as considering the top 3 places were all A names, but we will get you your trophies from Dr. Walshire here, Amy, so congratulations. Elections are coming up, so our May meeting, we actually moved that date a little bit to give us a little bit more time for the elections and move through that. So we bumped it to the 2nd Wednesday of the month instead of the 1st Wednesday of the month. All positions are up for election. I think we kind of covered this last time. We'll need a president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary. There's no re-election for president, treasurer, and one of our current VPs. The nomination form is actually live on our website. You can find it out there. We'll send out some emails on that also as well, but you know, it'd be great if we could start getting some nominations in there. You must be present to be included on the official ballot. The way that it works is if you nominate yourself, you'll automatically be put on the ballot. If somebody nominates you, because it's like a anonymous form, that what I'll do is I'll reach out to whoever was nominated and then say, hey, do you accept the nomination before you get included on the ballot? That's open to anyone that's part of the Petty community next year.
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
So this, in my mind, is gonna always be an issue that everyone leaves at the same time. is there any way that there's like, could be overlap? I realize you all started at the same time because it was brand new at the same time.
Christina didn't start at the same time.
Yeah.
But like,
I'm an overlapper.
Yeah.
I don't know, that to me just is like,
Well, it's just, I think because of the way that we just started up. So
Yeah.
right.
Started.
So everyone started
Yeah,
at
it
the
was
same
a whole
time.
new
Like it was a
core.
whole, and yeah, exactly.
And part of
So-
the problem,
Could that ever be fixed, or is it
it
always
could
gonna
be,
be?
it could be changed.
Mhm.
There are bylaws, and it is written in the bylaws that each term is limited to 2 years. So, but if the group said that they wanted to change that, we could go and change it just with, the majority of whoever's
Yeah.
there. We can go ahead and change that however we want.
Not that you guys wouldn't be helpful, but
It'll be
you know, it's
forever a
just
problem.
like,
I understand. The way that I looked at it is even, obviously if I can't go for president next year because I've done my 2 years for it, that doesn't keep me from helping next year
Yeah.
and being a transition person. My son only has 1 more year next year left anyways, so that would almost be a good time to help transition the new group into it.
Or we could just put you in another position.
You mentioned that. So,
Every
but
time.
How I've envisioned it is, it would be the transition year to help get everybody up to snuff and, set up with all the things that we have out there and whatever. I know I've got a lot of work to, make sure, everything's documented and all that stuff, so there's nice, easy things for how to access the different systems and things like that we've set up. But, that would obviously be the way it is. So if we wanted to leave it the way that it is, as long as we have people that will step up,
Right.
it wouldn't be an issue because we still have people that we can rely on to help get people up to speed on stuff. However, I do understand that as well. So, that is something that can be out there, and if the group wants to do that, we can look at that, we can change that, and we can see where it goes.
Yeah,
So,
some organizations
that's really
have,
all
like-
it is. It's just a matter of simple majority of how we want to do it, and what people want to propose, do we change that to?
I know some groups do like president and treasurer are like the odd, well, cause I guess really anybody could just serve a 1-year term.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it's technically you can do it for 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
you still might only serve 1 year.
Yes, it could be.
So-
The other thing is that you could also do it like, if there's no one else, you could have a contingency in there that somebody could serve an extra, kind of like a FDR type rule or
Yeah.
something like that, where you get an extra term because they're, wartime or whatever type thing. I didn't say wartime, it's not wartime, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
There are no other options.
there are no other options to go out there, and that would be like an extenuating circumstance that could be accounted for. So those are all options out there. What I would say is, if that's something that we want to do, let's post something, email or whatever. We'll take it to the Facebook group and we'll do a vote on it. As simple as that. We could have a special meeting on it if we wanted to, or we could just address it at the April meeting, which is April Fool's Day. So that won't be a joke if we really decide to do that, but that is definitely an option out there for that. Any other questions about? Oh, the last thing on there is, since it is open to anyone out there, please spread the word. Let people know that are coming. Actually, kindergarten night's coming up, and I was thinking, do we need to get a table here to
Yes.
have that? And I think that's actually the same night as the concert.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
Who played that?
Mhm. Kindergarten registration, I think, is from 5 to 7, and the concert's from 7 to
Oh.
whatever. Yeah.
Is that next
Yeah.
week?
So I've worked the kindergarten registration before,
Yeah.
and I don't remember if they had it here last year.
No, it was at
I think it was
Hillcrest.
everything
Oh,
at Hillcrest. You don't get that many people through, but you'll talk to some people.
Yeah.
So it might talk to 1 or 2 people. Traditionally, those tend to be the people that are a little bit more excited
Yeah.
to get involved.
Even just to get an email.
But yeah,
Like, you know what I mean?
we
So
did a
they
sign
can
last
start
year. We did a
getting
sign
them
up
out.
and sign up for our mailing list, and we gave away
Like a t-shirt or
a
something?
T-shirt or something that somebody picked from the spirit store, and we could
Awesome.
easily do that again. We actually even have some water bottles. We've got some of the car stickers that we could just give to people.
Yeah.
Because we're not really selling them right now anyways,
Yeah.
so why not? So I will reach out to the building and see if we can get a table for that and have that set up and go from there. But it is a nice way to introduce ourselves to anybody that is coming. So, and at least this year we know since it's here, it will be everybody that's
Right.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. All right, any other questions on that one? But anyway, spread the word, bring a friend. That goes with our mailing list, our Facebook group. Anybody that you think that should be involved, please invite people. It's our best way of communicating. So, staff appreciation, a group formed via email. We've been discussing back and forth. I think things kind of went a little lull there for a little bit, but we got a little bit of time. We got a good jump on some things. Look out for more details about needs for maybe donations or volunteers as we get a little bit more concrete in the planning. We're not gonna share a lot of that in these meetings because we know a lot of staff members
Yeah.
follow these meetings, and
Yeah.
we want there to be a little bit of fun, a little
Yeah.
bit of surprise for it. So we'll talk about some of the general things in here, but it's only gonna be real high level type stuff that we'll talk about. So keep an eye out for more information on that.
Angelina is our point person from here for this.
Right.
Yeah. So
It almost sounds like Angelina's kind of being our point person
For
in general.
boosters.
For
Okay.
boosters, it seems like, lately. So that's what's going on with the staff appreciation stuff. So deep dive topics. We talked a little bit about an assembly and if we're going to do one. So a few people jumped in and gave us some information about a couple different things. So what I did is I took the top two ideas that were out there and put them into this for us to talk about. This one especially was recommended by
4 people?
like maybe 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
I would say 2 to 4 people, different people
He actually was on
recommended
WGN too.
this one. And this is the Mousetrap Machine Show. It's what I'm calling option A. It's a science show. There would be 2 shows, which would be K through 2 and 3 through 5. The cost for this one is $799, which is actually a lot less.
Way
than what
less.
it was almost like half of what we paid last year for the game show one. It is STEM based. It's all about how machines work. So you're talking about the principles of science and simple machines. It looks like it can have over 20 volunteers, and the show lasts about 45 minutes each one. So I don't know how last year's went, maybe if that was a full hour or not, but it's all right. It does look like there's a lot of interaction from some of that, from some of the pictures that you see here and whatnot. So that's one option. The other option that we had was called The Great Boudini. And again, 2 shows, same age groups, cost $800, so about $1 difference on this one. I swear I didn't actually realize that they were about the same price until I just saw that just now. There's a little bit of information here on the slides about what the different groups will see, but it's based off of magic and working with different things. So the one thing that I noticed from looking at the websites when I was pulling this up is it looks like this one might be a little bit smaller footprint and maybe 1 or 2 people interactive. I don't know how many kids get to go up. It looks like the other one, maybe you would have 3 to 5 kids up at a time helping with a machine setup or whatever. I don't know if one is a little bit more interactive than the other. I could be wrong on that one because I'm not that familiar. I think both were featured on WGN and have been seen around and have had good reviews. So I don't think either is a bad choice. I just think there's 2 different choices to go
So
for.
he said 10 volunteers per show,
Okay,
and it's about an hour long.
so,
And he can put in anti-bullying, pro-literacy, PBIS messaging can be added to any show,
okay.
so.
So, there's options out there. Honestly, as far as I'm concerned, I guess I'd be more curious to see what the building thinks
Mhm.
about them a little
So
bit
just
more, and the
thinking-
teachers and staff. So if you guys have thoughts or feedback, please put them on Facebook, and we can go from there. We can work with Angelina maybe to see which one they want to do, and then try to find days.
Can we
You
just
know,
mention on the 3rd and 5th grade, that last line, the principal or teacher power saw illusion.
No, that's pretty
That's
cool.
pretty awesome.
I
That's
saw
pretty
it, I was
awesome.
like, oh, that's kinda cool.
So, maybe they can do another fun video like when Angelina got taped to the wall with that one, who knows? But, so yeah, I think both are definitely good options. When I was looking at them, I honestly had kind of thought maybe, this one might be my favorite out of it, not to sway anything one way or another, just from looking at it, but it also could just be photos and the way that I was seeing it on the website. But this one, I know multiple people have come back to us with it, and there has been contact with that group. I don't know about Houdini, if we've actually had contact with them to see about availability.
Yeah,
Did you?
I've both,
Okay.
I've contacted
Okay,
about,
great.
they both have availability.
Okay,
Well,
great.
the good news is we've got next year figured out then. Because whenever we pick
Yeah,
this
you
year,
could-
you pick up the next one.
True, yeah.
Yeah, so, exactly, I think that there's a great option, so thank you everyone who provided options. There were other options that were included out there. Some of them were a lot more money, and some of them were just kind of more, if you were a little drier, you know, and looking at more of the fun reward type things that we were trying to do, I thought these were good mixes. So that's why we kind of just narrowed it down to these two, so. All right, so we'll look for more on this, and maybe what we'll do is we'll post, after we get some feedback, if there's no unanimous vote from the staff and teachers and whatever, we'll post the two options and let people vote on Facebook.
Yep.
So, all right, projects. We talked last time about having a bit of a budget surplus and what we could do to do some of this. That I thought was, if anybody had any ideas, serve them up to us when we discuss them at this meeting. I didn't really hear from anyone on this one, so I just kind of went through some of it. And I'm just gonna kind of go through some ideas here that I had. A lot of this stuff was based off of past conversations that we've had. We've had people talk about maybe doing a building and video sign outside. I reached out to a few companies today. So I haven't heard just 100% yet. It's all over the place, but it looks like this can be done for about $3,600 to maybe $9,600, depending on how crazy you go with it and whatnot. Another option, and these two ideas here go back to some conversations that I had with Ms. Jarek last spring about the art crawl. And one of the problems that they have is hanging up everybody's artwork for the art crawl all over town and whatever, and not having volunteers to do it. And it seems like people don't want to volunteer to help with that, so what could they do? And she had talked about maybe getting a digital projector and an outdoor screen that could be set up behind the performers in the band shell that would display people's artwork, so people are seeing the kids' artwork on that screen as people are playing. I thought that was a pretty cool idea out there. I know that sometimes they have a tent out there that they display some of the stuff out there as well. So that would be an option out there that we could maybe provide some of the equipment that they do that with. And I know that art crawl is not necessarily a whole up, you know, it's not just petty specific, but Ms. Jarrett is one of our art teachers. She's talking about the artwork that our students do. That could be an option out there as well. And plus, if we had something like that, maybe there's an option to have an outdoor movie in the spring or in the fall or something for the students, you know, where they bring that out there and can do something like that. The touch screen kiosk is another idea, and I can click through some of these if we want to look at them if anything sounds good. But the idea is it's basically a big, kind of almost like, you know, a display board, but it can scroll through pieces of artwork, and people can navigate. Oh, hey, you want to see my artwork or whatever? That could be something that's out there as well. Just looking at different options for things like that, whether it could be used for other purposes, maybe. Playground equipment, looking at some different ideas. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this Gaga ball thing. It's like basically like a big
Cage.
action play type thing, and the kids all get in there and they play and they bat the ball around with their hand. Something like that could be done. I was looking at cheaper playground equipment because some of that stuff runs to like $26,000, but that looked like something that could be easily done and set up here and used as an option. So there's things like that. In the past, they talked about some of the staff retirement commemorations where they used to do the pictures and whatnot. I guess that's where I got the idea for this little tree. Maybe we could try to get somebody to create like a tree that gets mounted on the wall, and you could hang like little leaves or little ribbons with the teachers' names on them as they retire, instead of doing the framed artwork for everyone. My thought was, when you have this kind of what they call the tree of life type thing, maybe when they create it, they have the tree, but then the roots maybe become children on the bottom. Was my thought if we wanted to try to get somebody to create something like that. I don't know what the cost would be, but that was a thought that I had that kind of addressed one of those asks that we've been asked.
Would
in
it
the
be
past.
like a painting on the wall, or?
I was thinking a piece of metal, a flat, like a piece of metal that gets mounted onto the wall, a metal sculpture that's flat.
Oh.
And then you could hang the little things from the pieces, because it's metal sticking out from the wall. So that was my thought on it, and whether they have a spot for that or whatnot. But it's just an idea that we could consider and move forward with. Experiences, we talked a little bit about that. You know, do you do experience? Do you do something tangible? It could go either way. If we wanted to do an experience, school spirit, but we're doing the assembly at the same time, so I don't know. But one thought was maybe have an end of year party on the last day or something like that. That kind of covers up that last day where people just kind of come, fill in, pick up their stuff and go home. I mean, for the most part, I think is what the last day is about, so maybe there's something that can be done there. Other ideas that I've seen in some of the other PTO forums and groups is, you know, hey, maybe we pay off lunch balances, or and in combination with that, maybe have free lunch for the day, for the whole school, so that way you're covering everybody, not just the kids that have extenuating balances or whatever. These were some ideas. I don't know if anybody has any other ideas. The other option is we just don't do one this year. We roll over the money and find something else that's really a need, instead of searching out for a project that we think would be cool to get us down there. So, I guess maybe by the feedback that I've gotten so far, I haven't heard anything. Maybe it's better just to sit on it, but these were some thoughts out there. And maybe these are just thoughts to consider for further down the road too. So that's that. I don't know if anyone has any thoughts, questions, or concerns about any of that. All right. Not seeing any, we'll just move on that. If we want to bring it up on the next meeting, or if anyone has any thoughts or concerns, put them in the Facebook group, send an email out, and we're happy to discuss it some more. If you have other ideas or thoughts, I guess maybe my inclination on this is let's not manufacture a need, but if there's a need out there,
I like the idea of a new sign, even if it wasn't a video sign. That one that's out there is real, very dated. It doesn't quite match the new fancy facade of the school.
Yeah.
Melissa Smith said, what about an outdoor learning space with a whiteboard or a chalkboard?
It's an option.
Can you say that one more time, Catherine?
Outdoor learning space with a whiteboard or a chalkboard.
Like that.
And
Yeah.
technically, they're supposed to have that. Like, where's
I
the?
think so, because I think like
That's probably the old plans.
Oakland has that courtyard area, and I
Yeah.
thought we were supposed to have a little area like that too, but I don't know if it's anything more than just a bench.
A space.
And whatever. I don't know, I'll be honest, like since the construction's been done, I haven't really walked around the outside of the building that
Yeah.
much. There could be a little something back behind the new, between like the parent drop-off and the
That's fair.
old gym back over there.
Yes, yes,
There
that's
could
where it
be a
is.
little something, but I don't know what's really back there. I haven't paid much attention.
No.
So,
I like that idea.
if anyone has thoughts on that, I mean, that's definitely an option too. So,
Cool.
there's definitely things
Thanks,
out
Melissa.
there, and we're willing to take a look at it and go from there. But I think we're thinking about things that are a little different than our, what we do for our grants and whatever. But these are more building-wide type things. All right. With that, our next meeting, as I mentioned, April Fool's Day, Wednesday, April 1st. That's what I've got. Does anyone else have anything else? I mean, okay. With that being said, thank you for coming. Look at that. We're
Thanks, everyone.
really fast this month.
I know.
So, all right.
Thank you.